The refrigerator in your kitchen right now has a 1 in 3 chance of failing before it turns 10 years old. Not wearing down, not slowing, failing, completely, expensively, while you're still making payments on it. And the company that sold it to you knew that when they cashed your check. In the last 5 years, American consumers have settled refrigerator class action lawsuits worth over $2 billion. LG paid $1.5 billion in a single verdict. Samsung paid out on 3 million defective units. Both companies kept selling the same machines the following week. You didn't hear any of that in the showroom. What you got was a stainless finish, a touchscreen, and a monthly payment on what the repair industry calls a countdown clock. In this investigation, we are naming the 5 refrigerator brands on the Repairman's Blacklist and exposing exactly why they ended up there. Let's start with the brand that generated more consumer lawsuits in the last decade than any other appliance manufacturer in the country. Samsung does not make bad refrigerators by accident. They make them by design. The Samsung French door platform, specifically models in the RF and RFG series, produced from 2014 through the present, suffers from a structural engineering flaw that the company has known about for years and has repeatedly failed to meaningfully correct. The ice maker sits in the upper left section of the refrigerator compartment, not the freezer. It is exposed to slightly warmer ambient air. That air carries moisture. That moisture freezes around the ice maker coils over time and eventually turns the entire mechanism into a solid block of ice. The ice maker stops producing ice. Water backs up behind the unit. It finds the path of least resistance, which is usually down through your produce drawers and onto your kitchen floor. Samsung sold tens of millions of these units across the United States. In 2021, they settled a class action lawsuit involving more than 3 million affected refrigerators. The settlement payout was widely criticized by consumer advocates as deeply insufficient relative to the scale of damage caused. The fix Samsung offered in many cases was a foam gasket retrofit, a piece of foam, on a $1,200 appliance with a known engineering defect. And here is what makes that particularly damning. Samsung's own internal service bulletins, which circulated among authorized repair technicians years before the lawsuit closed, acknowledged the icing problem by name. They knew. They issued a workaround. They did not issue a redesign. The lawsuits did not stop after the settlement. The fundamental design did not change. New buyers are still purchasing the same French door configuration today and discovering the same water damage problem 18 to 36 months in. If you own one of these units right now, you are not waiting to see if it fails. You are waiting to find out when. But Samsung is not the only brand that decided consumer frustration was an acceptable line item in their product planning. LG built its modern refrigerator reputation on a technology they called the linear compressor. The marketing around it was genuinely sophisticated. LG told consumers the linear compressor had fewer moving parts than a conventional rotary compressor, ran more quietly, consumed less energy, and would last 20 years. They printed that 20-year claim in their advertising materials. What they did not prominently advertise was what happened when that compressor failed, because it failed often and it failed catastrophically. The linear compressor in LG refrigerators produced between 2014 and 2019, models including the LR MVS 3006S and dozens of related French door and side-by-side configurations, failed at a rate that class action attorneys and federal investigators described as systemic. When a linear compressor dies, it does not degrade slowly, it stops. The refrigerator stops cooling entirely. Everything inside reaches room temperature within hours. Families lost hundreds of dollars in groceries with no warning. Then they called LG, and LG informed them the compressor itself was covered under the limited warranty, but the labor required to replace it was not, and that labor cost ran between $400 and $600 out of pocket for a compressor that was supposed to last 20 years but failed in 3. A federal class action lawsuit was filed. LG settled in 2020 for approximately $1.5 billion, making it one of the largest appliance product liability settlements in American history. That is not a rounding error in an earnings report. That is a company that knowingly sold a defective core component across millions of units for years and chose settlements over solutions. After the settlement, LG quietly extended its compressor warranty on new units to 5 years, not 25. Draw your own conclusions about what that number tells you. The third brand on this list is one that will genuinely surprise people because its name still carries the sound of quality. KitchenAid refrigerators are marketed and priced as premium appliances. A KitchenAid French door unit runs between $1,800 and $3,000 at retail. For that investment, you would reasonably expect a fundamentally superior machine. What you get in many cases is a Whirlpool refrigerator wearing a more expensive badge. KitchenAid is owned by Whirlpool Corporation and shares manufacturing platforms, core components, and in some cases actual production facilities with Whirlpool's mid-range and budget lines. The ice maker assemblies are functionally identical. The control board architecture is shared. The failure modes that technicians document in standard Whirlpool units appear in KitchenAid units at comparable rates. Repair professionals who specialize in high-end residential appliances consistently report that the KitchenAid refrigerator is among the most professionally demoralizing machines they service, not because it is uniquely complex, but because the customer paid $3,000 expecting to escape the reliability problems of mass-market appliances and instead discovered they had purchased the same problems in a brushed stainless housing. Whirlpool Corporation has faced federal investigations and consumer protection actions related to component quality across multiple product categories over the last decade. Their apparent corporate strategy is to invest in branding architecture rather than engineering differentiation. More labels, same factory, same failure. The fourth entry on this list tells a different kind of story. It is about what happens to a great American brand after a foreign acquisition strips away the institutional knowledge that made it great. GE Appliances was once a legitimate engineering institution. Their refrigerators from the 1970s and 1980s ran for decades without meaningful intervention. In 2016, General Electric sold the entire appliance division to Haier, a Chinese manufacturing conglomerate, for $5.4 billion. The GE name stayed on the machines. The engineering culture did not survive the transition intact. Current GE refrigerators, particularly the Profile and Cafe series positioned as premium products at prices ranging from $2,000 to $4,000, have accumulated significant complaint volumes with the Consumer Product Safety Commission related to compressor failures, inconsistent temperature regulation, and control board malfunctions. What makes this especially frustrating is the price point. You are paying for a legacy, a heritage. 60 years of American kitchen trust stamped onto a door handle, and underneath that door handle is a machine that the company that originally engineered it no longer owns, no longer controls, and no longer builds. Consumers who selected GE specifically because their parents trusted GE are discovering that brand equity doesn't transfer across corporate ownership changes. The name is the same, the machine underneath it is not. The fifth brand is the one you will find most aggressively discounted at big box retailers, which is precisely how it ends up in millions of American homes. Frigidaire, now owned by the Swedish conglomerate Electrolux, dominates the entry-level and mid-range market almost entirely on price. Frigidaire's newer French door and gallery series models have accumulated sustained complaint records related to premature compressor failure, ice maker defects that follow the same pattern as Samsung's documented problems, and plastic interior components that crack and warp within the first 2 years of ordinary household use. But the deeper problem is what happens after the failure. Parts availability through Electrolux's American distribution network is inconsistent. The service infrastructure in suburban and rural markets is thin. Repair technicians in smaller markets report routinely declining Frigidaire jobs because sourcing the required components takes weeks, sometimes longer. And when you call Electrolux's American customer service line, you will quickly discover that the company's support infrastructure does not match the volume of product they have placed in American homes. A refrigerator that cannot be practically repaired is not a budget appliance appliance. It is a scheduled landfill deposit with a 3-year delay built in. Now let's talk about what actually works and why. The brands that repair technicians genuinely recommend are not the ones dominating advertising breaks during Sunday football. Miele, manufactured in Germany to tolerances that American appliance companies abandoned in the 1990s in pursuit of margin expansion, produces refrigerators with failure rates that are genuinely exceptional by any comparative measure. A Miele refrigerator costs between $2,500 and $4,000 up front, but carries a functional lifespan that regularly reaches 20 years, backed by a parts and service network built around the assumption that the machine will be repaired rather than discarded. If that price point is beyond your current budget, the single most reliable refrigerator configuration available in America today remains the top freezer single-door unit. Whirlpool's own WRT series and comparable Amana units, simpler platforms with fewer engineered failure points, break down at rates dramatically lower than any French door product in any price bracket. One compressor, one evaporator, no touchscreen, no app, no $300 proprietary control board that gets discontinued when the model rotates out of production. If you are committed to the French door format, Bosch's 800 series has maintained a reliability record that has consistently outperformed its American competitors across more than a decade of independent consumer data. The reason is not magic. Bosch engineered for repairability and sourced components with longer rated lifespans. That is it. That is the entire secret. It is not complicated. It is just a choice that most American manufacturers stopped making 30 years ago. The thread connecting everything that works is the same thread connecting everything that fails. Complexity, marketed as luxury without the engineering investment to support it, is simply a more expensive way to fail. The brands on this blacklist did not stumble into unreliability. They made deliberate, financially calculated decisions. They chose cheaper compressors. They rushed platform launches. They settled lawsuits rather than correcting designs. They leaned on decades of accumulated brand trust while quietly withdrawing the engineering standards that earned it. And they counted on you not knowing the difference until after the check cleared. Stop buying the brand name. Stop buying the touchscreen. Stop buying the Wi-Fi connectivity that exists to collect your data more than it serves your kitchen. Buy the machine that a technician in your town can actually fix with parts that are actually available. Buy the configuration with the fewest components engineered to fail. Buy from the brand that builds its warranty around repairing the product rather than outlasting your patience. And build a home around appliances that were designed to outlast the loans you took out to pay for them. If you want to see the same philosophy play out in another product category, the same cost-cutting, the same brand coasting, the same manufactured obsolescence, watch our investigation into washing machines next. The names are different. The story is almost exactly the same.